My next upload for tonight is with regard to the living standards that have been affected since I gave birth in this country. As I've mentioned, there's been intruders and trespassers very preoccupied with my personal belongings, my personal information, my royal patronage really basically. So this upload is with regard to tonight's developments. The DPP and the Department of Justice are fully aware of the role I've played in Irish society and with regard to the legislation that came about as a consequence of my work, in particular in 2019. The government is fully aware as well, and the Department of Justice is fully aware of the changes that occurred in Ireland as a consequence of my work. Now tonight, I'm just after relaying that there are individuals in my proximity, royal patronage is being damaged, disrespected, and the child I gave birth to is unlawfully withheld from me. Now, it's bad enough being a mother with a child unlawfully withheld and knowing that your child has been damaged in an unlawful care order in a democracy for the past, since 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. It's nearly 21 over now, so that's nearly 5 years of a child tormented in an unlawful care order due to hate crime and individuals of treason. So the issue I'm raising for the interests of the government that are of this new development that has occurred as a consequence of my work, and that the government has turned a blind eye to accommodate the offenders against the state, which I find highly amusing and very bewildering, really, to be quite honest, because I'm thinking it's setting a bad example to young women and children, male and female. So the point anyway of this matter in this upload is with regard to the child I gave birth to recently celebrating his birthday without his mother, and the Ombudsman for Children not addressing Ombudsman procedures that have been highlighted in these uploads. So the issue of individuals over preoccupied with farm holdings, it's typical Irish mentality, begrudgery, and they call this the land of saints and scholars. I'm really, really concerned about the representation this is setting for the country in a broader worldwide context, because the days of nepotism and who you know and what you know, etc., all being a topic of tactic to play is it's a bit old, it's outdated, it's antiquated, it's a bit dangerous these days in a democracy, and it's really insulting to my good work that has changed this country since 2018, 2019. So the obstacles in society for a child to have been withheld from the best care of his mother is one very serious issue. My child being traumatized 24/7 is another serious issue that I'm raising for the interest of the Ombudsman for Children and the Department of Education as well, that they have not addressed with me, his guardian, lawful guardian, his only maternal parent. So that's one issue. Now, the issue of individuals trespassing onto property and intruding where they have no right to be and damaging the building where I'm staying, that has been brought to the attention of the PTRB and the DPP and the government ministers. I'm really concerned about how they are perceiving this acquisition of property theft that's going on. My ancestors for the past 300 years have originated from my marital property. My son is the only royal heir of that property, and they have disrespected the farm holdings of that family that I represent, and my family is McElligott on my maternal and my paternal sides, both aspects. And I'm really concerned now with tonight. The Department of Justice is aware of my role in the developments in this country, and there are people turning a blind eye to that good development and progress, and manoeuvring and wrangling and negotiating and bargaining isn't really good politics. So it's really a bad representation for democracy, and individuals disturbing the peace, causing discomfort, false claimants, slander of character, all of this is going on. And these individuals are liabilities since 2016. So that's not really professional, that's not good practice, that's not royal protocol. Royal protocol is also involved in this matter. So the issue of individuals that are causing environmental damages to this building and that are threatening the peace of this hometown, threatening the peace of this society, just to attain property that doesn't belong to them is a very serious, sad sign of the times. And I'm surprised that I haven't heard from the European Court of Human Rights regarding these serious matters, because any liabilities to civil society, for me as a peacekeeper, I have been keeping the peace in this community with regard to the troubles that have been caused by gangs that have been at loggerheads and in dispute since 2016, 2017. So as a peacekeeper and a humanitarian that has played a role in legislation, and as a royal, I'm really concerned what the Department of Justice are doing about individuals in my proximity, disturbing the peace, damaging the environment of this building, and threatening the society that is based on civility and democracy. So I'm just really curious how the authorities are sitting on their hands regarding all of this. There have been exploitative gains and measures from my work and purpose. And it's really quite serious when people are choosing to trespass into property where they are not welcome and where they've damaged and where they have no rights. So disrespecting a woman's matrimony, that's one issue. Disrespecting a family, a unit, that's really rude. And then disrespecting privacy and damaging a bloodline, a royal bloodline. It's all quite dangerous, really. So I'm really quite seriously concerned how people haven't been able to weigh up the odds, the losses, the gains, the costs, and not being able to apply numeracy and literacy to a basic, simple issue that could have been corrected in 2018. So it would be really, really commendable, without a shadow of a doubt, if there would be individuals in their positions to function properly and keep the peace and remove the liabilities that think they're acquiring land and avoiding the damages, harms and losses that they have cost society with their bargaining and their favour tactics and their payouts to save their hinds with regard to their slander and their offences against the state. So the individuals that have damaged privacy throughout this community, that have damaged wildlife throughout this community, that have damaged the family unit of my ancestors of 300 years in the farm holdings that I own to this day, I'd appreciate a bit of common sense and consideration, because there's been quite a lot of damages incurred needlessly and senselessly. So those that haven't been doing their jobs properly, in particularly the authorities, as a woman of a clean track record and a clean name, I'd appreciate the authorities acting on the liabilities in this community, disrupting the peace and harmony that was present before hate crime and treason commenced, and before liabilities started damaging climate, nature and wildlife. So this is an upload for the attention of the authorities and the honourable government to remember its obligations to a royal bloodline of this democracy.